Good morning, folks. Yes, I am still working on the de Havilland DH.10 for the Aurora Models Group build. I've been doing some painting, that didn't take too long, and some masking, which I'm still at, to get the outer surfaces finished for the plane. So I have applied Tamiya Olive Drab XF62 to the upper surfaces of the wings, the horizontal stabilizer, the fin, and the back section of the fuselage. That perhaps took 30 minutes, maybe, probably a lot less. I think cleaning the airbrush took more time than that. Anyway, that went down smoothly, and I used a tan, Tamiya tan color, deck tan color for the under surfaces of, which is a little dark, but too bad. That's what I'm using for the wings as well as the bottom panel on the fuselage. And since then, I've been taping wing ribs. I have to say that the large ribs weren't too mind-boggling. That didn't take all that long, but I'm still only a little more than halfway through putting on the small tapings on the leading edges of the wings. I've got the top wing 3 pieces done now, and 144 more strips of Tamiya 1mm tape, masking tape, to apply to the leading edges. There we go. Turn this around. All those leading edges on the bottom wings. Then I will give a light coating, applying Tamiya NATO Black directly onto the tapes, including the little ones, and that'll give some overspray. I'll let that dry, and then before peeling off all that masking tape, I will give all of the surfaces a light coating of PC10, which is going to be a mix of one part, I think it's 50-50. I'll have to check again. It's Tamiya Olive Drab XF62 with Tamiya Flat Brown XF10. That should then provide, hopefully, the contrast I want for the wings and the ribbing and the ribs. And all I can say is, in this case, I'm glad that Aurora didn't do any ribs on the undersides of the wings. So those will just, the undersides are just going to remain a neutral Tamiya deck tan. All I have to do is snip away tiny little strips here now of this 1mm tape, and then apply it. And then I'll get the airbrush set up and go to the painting. More to come. So here we are, a couple hours later, and many strips of 1mm tape now all curled up into little squiggly pieces and in the garbage can. And I have to ask myself, was that all worth it? The answer, probably not. So the big mistake I made, I kind of knew it as I was going along, is that there wasn't enough contrast between the Tamiya Olive Drab and then the mixed PC10, which was the last step. So the difference in shadings and color on the wing ribs is virtually indistinguishable, definitely not so much with an iPhone camera. I really should have lightened up the olive drab Tamiya paint with either some lighter green, just a bit to lighten it up, or some white, because after laying down the NATO Black along the rib tapes, and then putting on the PC10 mix, which is 2 parts olive drab and 1 part flat brown. I might as well have just kept it in a solid color. At least that's my thinking. But I did it. There's one little place of touch-up right there. Chipped it, but big deal. I can fix that. The bigger thing is I'm not going back in to highlight the rib tapes. Just way too much masking. It's going to look okay. But I could have just kept it in a solid color. Okay. Not final assembly, actual assembly of the big pieces will begin tomorrow. There's nothing really except to put the crew inside the plane now and the gun rings and start putting the struts on and attach all of the rigging to the underside of the top wing pieces and get it assembled. Live and learn.